Welcome to Pictures Up. Thank you, Carol. We're talking with Carol McCormick of More Creative Talent. Thank you so much for joining us. I appreciate that.
You're very welcome. Glad to do it.
You are one of the top agencies in the city. Can you talk to me about how More got started and how you got started with More?
Sure. We have been in existence for 60 years.
Wow. 6-0.
Yeah.
Wow.
It started in 1960 with a wonderful woman named Eleanor Moore.
Mm-hmm.
She was smart, she was beautiful, she was ambitious, and she had done some modeling with Dayton's here in Minneapolis. And that's where she learned that there was really a need for some kind of agency here in the Twin Cities because people would call her up and say, Ellie, we want to hire you, and do you have like 3 or 4 other model friends you could bring down, So
nice.
That's how it started. She realized there was a need in this market, and she just started really pushing it. She used to make telephone calls out of phone booths.
Really?
She raced around town trying to connect with people.
Mm-hmm.
She was really a class act, and that's who started what is now called More Creative Talent.
Well, how did she get in it?
Eleanor Moore.
Yeah, I mean, because she said there was a need for the city. Did somebody scout her out in the airport or something?
I think she was so into fashion.
Oh, okay.
And had some friends at Dayton's, which was the big high fashion department store at the time.
Okay.
Which is now Macy's. And it just evolved. Let's get Ellie Moore down here to model our handbags,
Oh, nice.
And then she just built on it.
Nice.
So, and it was officially established as the Eleanor Moore Agency in 1960.
Okay.
And so there you go. And for me personally, I simply was in the right place at the right time with the right background when there was an opening at the agency, and I just walked in the door and I met Eleanor Moore, and she hired me the next day.
Wow.
And I have been there ever since. So that was in 1981 when I was hired. Mm-hmm.
You said you had the right background. What was that?
I had a combination of a theater degree and a psychology.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Just majors and minors in college.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I went to Gustavus.
Ah, okay.
So it was a perfect combination. And as soon as I started working there, they put me in the print department, but I knew that my passion was working with the actors.
Okay.
So I quickly moved into that area.
Oh, okay.
And that's where I have been.
So what are some of the film and television projects that your agency has worked on?
Well, I actually had to make a list because there is so many.
Wow.
Back in the 80s and 90s, was glory days. We had the blockbusters, As you can see, there's 4 posters on the wall here.
I saw that.
The Mighty Ducks. We booked The Young Boy and Dick Tracy. We booked a lot of people in Fargo. We worked on Grumpy Old Men, 1 and 2. A Simple Plan. We've done Wilson. That was done like 2 years ago now, 3 years ago.
Yeah, I was on Wilson.
With Woody Harrelson in it.
I was an extra, but
yeah. Fargo, that was huge. That was huge. So we have worked on. See my piece of paper here. With all the titles.
Quite
on
a
it.
few.
But then in the more recent years, in the last decade, it has switched to a more indie film market. In smaller budget films, because they're not giving very good tax incentives anymore to film producers. So they're going to Canada, they're going to Atlanta, they're going to Phoenix, they're going to other places than Minneapolis. But there's such a good arts community here, and there's so many talented people, so many talented filmmakers.
Yeah.
And they're making their own projects, and there's things like, Cold November did really well. Special Ed, Project Eden. A couple actors got to go to Australia on that film.
You didn't call me on that one, Carol?
It was a very weird, tiny thing. Yes. There's Hap and Ashley's Dear White People.
Yeah, I was on that as
which
well.
Which evolved into a TV series.
Yeah, my daughter was on that one as well.
Yeah. So you know a lot about these. I'm Not a Serial Killer. That was really fun. Tuscaloosa, which is coming out
I was
soon.
in that one as well. Yeah, I didn't know it was had been released. I just happened to see something. I was like, oh, I didn't know it was released, but I do make an appearance in that one. So
Jingle All the Way with
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah,
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
North Country, Untamed Heart, Drop Dead Gorgeous, About Schmidt. We were lucky enough to get a young man in a TV series called The Nanny.
Oh.
It was very popular.
Oh, that was with Ann Dretcher.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I watched that sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We worked for 2 years on the In an Instant TV shows for ABC.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's been a great run.
Oh, okay.
It's changed. The projects are smaller now, but they're just as interesting.
Okay. Well, what about Catalyst? I understand there's in Duluth, there's a lot of big pictures or big picture people coming to that festival. So I would think that will
I know
filter in.
They've only
more.
Done it once, so now everyone is kind of waiting to see if anything actually comes from it.
Mm-hmm.
But it was successful, I understand, and a lot of projects were pitched. I have not yet heard that anything solid has come out of it, but it may be too soon. That was just in September.
October. Yeah. Okay. Can you walk me through the process of getting representation at Moore?
Yes, it is very, very simple. And there's another question here about, research that people should do before they come in. So that's kind of a combined answer. People should go to our website, www.moretalent.com, and look over our website. It's open to anybody. It's public. And they should also check out our Facebook page and our Instagram.
Okay.
And then they're going to get a very good idea about what More Creative is about. And on our website, there is a button labeled right at the top. Click on Representation.
Okay.
And you will immediately get a form that can be filled out on your computer and a picture that you can download.
Okay.
And it goes right to a certain individual in our office whose job it is to keep track on all those submissions and process
the new talent agent. Okay.
And that's it. That's how you get representation. You go through our website.
Okay, sounds great. So do you, once the person submits their photo, what happens next? Do you interview them? And if you interview them, what kind of questions do you ask and what are you looking for?
Not everyone who submits will get an interview, but they will get a response of some kind. We've received your picture. We don't have a spot for you right now. Please submit in 6 months. Or they will get a phone call saying, yes, we'd like to set up an interview with you.
Okay.
So one of those two things happen.
Okay.
So, and hopefully I know the talent want to get the interview.
Yeah.
The interview is very simple. It's like a job interview you'd have, anywhere. We want to get to know you. We're going to ask some real basic questions. What we're trying to get at, though, is this a good fit for you? Okay. That's what we're trying to find out in this, 5 to 15 minute time we have with you.
Okay.
So it's questions about, why do you want this? Why do you want to be here? Do you have background that relates? Do you have a lifestyle that fits? Because I'm sure you're aware that things come up very last minute.
Oh, yeah.
Very little notice. You have to have extreme flexibility.
Right.
So occasionally we'll get somebody that, is like, well, I've got a 9-to-5 job. Can I work on weekends?
Yeah, that's not going to work.
No, you can't. Thank you for coming in.
Right. Right.
Yeah. So that's what we're trying to get at. We're just trying to get to know people and understand what their goals are with us and what we do, and is it a good fit?
Okay. And are you looking for any specific body type? Do you look for anything different from men than you do from women, or vice versa?
You can kind of throw all that out. A lot of that is just myth now.
Oh, okay.
Like, I have to be 5'9". Oh, I have to be a size 2. Oh, I have to, look exotic. I mean, that's just all like thrown out.
Okay.
We need every single type under the sun.
Wow.
So
that is good to know. Yeah. Real people.
Yeah. That's probably the biggest demand we have. It's like, oh yeah, please send us real people. Okay, my actors are real people. I always want to say to them. I will be sending you actors. But they're real people.
But I think the audience thinks that as well, that you have to, look like, Naomi Campbell or Christy Turlington, or you have to, look.
It's not true. I mean, does it hurt if you're beautiful? No.
Yeah.
But we really are looking for a great deal of diversity now. The normal body sized women, are practically in demand now because there's a big advertising push to represent the real woman or the real guy. Of course, the dad bod has always been popular.
A dad bod?
The father body. Where you have
with
a little extra
belly.
weight on you.
Okay.
That's always been popular.
Okay.
But now it's, everything, It doesn't matter if you're short or tall or skinny or bald or if you have a beard or if you have tattoos. None of that matters. What matters is the authenticness that you bring to the party. And your creativity and your drive and your confidence. That's what matters.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you, because the trend today is, Billie Eilish, she was on the cover of Vogue and she had lime green hair and on the cover of Vogue. So what, but there might be, a client of yours who's very conservative, but the trend is, dyed hair or tattoos or gauges in the ear. And piercings and all of this, how does that play in the industry?
Well, again, the myths are out, and that diversity is needed.
Okay.
They're now, it's not unusual to get a call where they'll say, please put any transgender people in to your audition. It's not unusual for them to specifically ask for people who have multiple piercings and tattoos. Sometimes it can work against you. I can't lie about that.
Right.
You get a job where you don't realize it, but there's going to be a close-up on your hand, and you've got a great big dragon tattoo all over your hand.
Yeah.
And they're going to say, oh, that doesn't work. We don't have a makeup artist for this job. I don't think we could cover that effectively. It would distract from the product. So we can't hire you because you have a dragon tattoo on your hand. So, sometimes those things will work against you.
Yeah, I see.
But, so I tell people, don't put tattoos on your hands. Don't put tattoos on your neck. Or if you do, really be skilled at covering them up. Tattoos on other places on your body is usually not a problem.
Okay.
But I do advise people about hands and necks.
And what if people have scars, that they can't really do anything about, like on their arm or whatever?
You just kind of bring that with you. It's not a horrible thing anymore. Trying to think if it's helped anybody get a job. Yes. I can think of a time when a man had a small scar on his face and it just gave him a more rugged look.
Okay.
And so it ended up helping him.
Okay. So what makes a model stand out for you? And on the flip side, what's a huge turnoff?
Well, first of all, you will very seldom hear the word model come out of my mouth. It will be talent. Because a model implies that I'm working with somebody who just wants a still photo taken. And that's not what I do. There are always videos and commercials and films. So I'm always using the word talent.
Okay.
And I know that some of my models have talent.
Yeah.
So that's always the word I use, talent.
Okay.
And what makes them stand out for me on a first meeting is, number one, are they on time? Number two, are they groomed in a way that is not offensive? Like, don't smoke a cigarette in your car and then walk into the agency and carry that with you.
Yeah, yeah.
Number three would be, are you bringing your personality with, or did you leave that in the car?
Oh, okay.
It's always conversation, the art of conversation. I'm going to lob the ball to you and you're going to lob it back. And if I'm lobbing the ball to you and you're not getting it back, you're not making a great impression on me.
Okay.
And then what I really look for in new talent is sort of the art of communication, again, by being responsible about it. If I make a phone call to you or I send you an email and I sent it on a day you were really busy and so you just ignored it and you didn't think that mattered.
It does.
To me, that's a message that, oops, this person isn't serious about what we do here. This person isn't really interested in what we do here. And I move on.
Right.
So sometimes you don't get a second chance.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Okay, can you talk a little bit about what your relationship is with casting directors and how more agency differs from a casting agent?
Well, we try to have really solid relationships with the casting directors. We feel it's a partnership. And if we're doing a good job, they're going to do a good job. If they're doing a good job, we're going to be doing a good job. I mean, it's very, there's a lot of reciprocation there. So, first of all, so that's very important. And the main way we differ is that we are actually representing the talent. And the casting director is not. They're representing the client. And so we are really actively pushing the talent that we feel are right for the job. And the casting director has a little bit of a wall put up, like you said, Lynn Blumenthal has noted that she trusts the people I submit. It takes a long time to establish that trust.
That was Lynn Steele, but yes, I'm sure Lynn Blumenthal does too.
Right. Okay, that was Lynn Steele.
Yeah.
But it takes a long time to establish that. So it's years. It's years of choosing the right people. And we don't have all the power. Sometimes an agent has some power. Most of the time, the power lies in the casting director.
Mm-hmm.
They will put together their auditions, and they will push the people that did the best job. They will make sure the client really looks at that fourth person on the tape, you know.
Mm-hmm.
We're not there. The agents aren't there. Once the audition is happening and we're not involved anymore, we can't do anything. We can't do a dang thing
Mm-hmm.
to make sure that our exclusive actor gets that booking. It's all up to the actor,
Mm-hmm.
and it's up to the casting director, and it's up to the client, and you know, the layers grow and grow and grow, and we're at the bottom. Agents are at the bottom. But we do have some power,
Mm-hmm.
just not as much as some other people that are on the
Mm-hmm.
food chain.
Yeah, but you mentioned that the trend is more indie movies. So do you have more power in those? I mean, I don't think all of those go to the casting directors. They may come directly to you.
Yeah,
Is that not right?
That is true with indie films.
Mm-hmm.
It really depends. Some of the indie producers really rely on us heavily, and I almost sometimes do feel like a casting director.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes they're control freaks, and they just want to do their thing,
Mm-hmm.
and they really will say, "Oh, send us pictures of who you think might be right," and then they'll select 2 or 3 people.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thinking, but you forgot this person and this person and this person.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes I can influence them and sometimes I can't.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a very different feeling than a regular casting director job. You know,
Okay,
it
yeah.
kind of blurs the lines.
Blurs the lines.
Mhm.
Yeah. I need to go back. I think I forgot to ask you about headshots, or maybe I did have that on my list. But anyway, you know, for headshots, are there a specific color that a person should wear? What color is good? What color is bad? What makes a good headshot? What doesn't?
Yeah, your question here, what should a prospective model know about headshots, resumes, and portfolios?
Right.
Yes. You don't need to have a portfolio.
Mm-hmm.
All you need is one to start out with. All you need is one good engaging headshot.
Mm-hmm.
It can't look like a driver's license picture.
Mm-hmm.
It can't look like a real estate agent picture.
Mm-hmm.
There's got to be something there going on with your face, your eyes, your expression that's just like, boom.
Mm.
I've come to be able to recognize that really easily.
Okay. Yeah.
And you know, some people get in the door here at More Creative with a selfie.
Mm.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Some
Wow.
people get in the door here with pictures that don't look like them at all.
They do?
Yeah. Well, because how do we know? We haven't met them yet. All we've seen is a picture.
Right, but get in the door. I mean, I've heard the opposite, that when people send in this fantastic picture and then they come in the door and they don't look like the picture, then
That's a bad thing.
yes.
That is a bad thing.
Yeah.
I just had that happen last week.
Okay.
It was disturbing.
Yeah.
But if that happens,
Disturbing.
if that happens, if somebody comes in who does not look like their picture, because we don't ask people's ages.
Yeah.
So somebody who had a picture taken on their best day when they were 25, and now they're here on their worst day when they're 35.
Yeah.
You know, how we handle that, we're going to take a picture of them here with our own smartphones and our own lighting.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes it's right here in front of this blue backdrop. Sometimes it's upstairs against the colonial gray. We take our own picture.
Mm-hmm.
And then as an opportunity comes up where they can get a professional shot, you know, we send them to the right person.
Mm-hmm.
But the days of having to have a big portfolio, multiple headshots, here I am dressed as a nurse, here I am dressed as a banker, you know, those days are gone.
Mm-hmm.
don't need that.
Okay. Well, what are the colors?
Colors?
I don't know. I can't seem to narrow it down because different people, you look on the web, different people say this, that. I don't know.
I don't think there is a standard rule. What I tell people, and most people know by a certain age in their life, what is a flattering color on them.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So
all right. Yeah.
You go with that.
Mm-hmm.
You find a backdrop that, is not going to make your, body disappear, like a dark backdrop, and then you're wearing dark clothing, that doesn't work. So if you just kind of keep in mind that the clothing should be simple and not distracting, and the backdrop should make your picture pop a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it could be a white background and you're wearing, a lovely peachy rose color that just pops,
Mm-hmm.
That can work. There's so many things that can work if you just spend a little time thinking about what's a good color on me,
mm-hmm.
what's a good neckline on me.
Mm-hmm.
Keep simple things around your face. You don't want the big hoop earrings, that's just distracting.
Oh, okay.
And keep your makeup something simple that you can replicate easily from
mm-hmm.
day to day.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because you're not trying to fool people.
Mm-hmm.
You're trying to be yourself and be authentic.
Okay.
And but it's all about the face and the expression and the warmth and
One big question I have is what about scarves? Obviously, I'm wearing a scarf today,
mm-hmm.
and patterns. I guess that was more the question, not scarves, but the question was patterns.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've heard some casting agents say they want something different, something to catch their eye or something to, set them apart. Because if you're looking at all of this talent and they're all having a blue shirt,
right.
then you see somebody right. with something that that's really eye-catching. I mean, how do you feel about, patterns and whatnot?
The only pattern I've seen that is distressing when you look at it is horizontal
stripes.
Mm-hmm. Something about that, the camera just kind of goes a little bit crazy. You can't focus on that.
Mm-hmm.
So, but a small plaid,
mm-hmm.
In a blouse, the print you have going on in that scarf
mm-hmm.
is interesting.
Mm-hmm.
You couldn't wear your hat.
The hat, yeah. Yeah.
No hats are generally allowed.
Yeah.
But you can get, if you're a woman with a flair or
mm-hmm.
a man with a flair, you can express that
mm-hmm.
without getting nutsy about it,
mm-hmm.
and remembering that the face is the most important part that you're bringing.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And do you look for experience from the people, new talent?
Well, I love to see experience. It's a plus. But we call people in all the time that have Zippo on their resume.
Okay. So, one question I do want to go back to is I was really surprised to hear you say you don't ask for people's ages because a lot of times the client says, send me somebody who's 20 to 30 years old who's has, blue hair or whatever it is that they say. Mm-hmm. So, but you don't do ages.
Well, that doesn't mean that we don't end up understanding your age.
Okay.
At the end of the interview.
Oh, okay.
It's just legally we don't ask for it. On Minnesota labor laws, you don't want to discriminate against anyone because of age. Mm-hmm. And the reality is we need all ages.
Yeah.
But by the time you've gotten to know us, we'll pretty much know your age.
Okay, now you've talked about some different things, but are there any other do's and don'ts when working with the with more modeling agencies?
We have a very much a family atmosphere here.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm not absolutely sure how other agencies work, but I think More Creative goes a step beyond in knowing their talent, and so maybe that's different. We get a little frustrated with talent that are overly multi-listed. Of course, freelancers are abundant in this market, but that can be a little frustrating to us. We'd rather have a talent want some loyalty, just with More Creative, possibly thinking about exclusivity, or we want them maybe to just choose one other agency that has a little different clientele, and maybe just be with two. But there's a lot of talent in town who are with 5 or 6 or even 7 people representing them, and that just gets expensive for the talent, and I don't really think it helps them that much, and it's certainly frustrating.
How so expensive?
Well, because different agencies have different policies about their websites. So then, some of them I understand are quite expensive and be even $100 a month.
Wow.
You're paying to be on a website.
Wow.
Or that initial payment is, you need to pay us $150 right now, this minute, before we've even gotten you a job. There's some agencies that do that, and we have a no risk policy here. We accept people, put them up on our website, try to get them work. Only if they book a job is there a small deduction for website.
Okay. Any last words of advice?
If you have flexibility in your life, and people have told you over and over again as you go through life, are you an actor? Are you a model? What? You should be doing this. If you are hearing that and you have flexibility, try it.
Okay. That's great. That's great advice. So, thank you again for doing this. How can people reach more talent, creative talent? Do you have a website, social media platforms? If so, what are they?
It's our website, www.moretalent.com. It's our Facebook page, which you just type in Facebook, More Creative Talent, boom, we're there. Same with Instagram. So we're really easy to find.
Okay.
And our physical space is easy to find. Why? Because of our bright yellow door.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Carol.
Yeah.
I really, really do appreciate this, and it was a pleasure speaking with you today.
Oh, good. Well, if I was useful at all, then my day is happy.
Okay. Thank you.
house. The print you have going on in that scarf is interesting. You couldn't wear your hat.
The hat, yeah. Yeah.
No hats are generally allowed.
Yeah.
But you can get, if you're a woman with a flair or a man with a flair, you can express that without getting nutsy about it, and remembering that the face is the most important part that you're bringing.
Okay. And do you look for experience from the people, new talent?
Well, I love to see experience. It's a plus. But we call people in all the time that have Zippo on their resume.
Okay. So, one question I do want to go back to is I was really surprised to hear you say you don't ask for people's ages because a lot of times the client says, send me somebody who's 20 to 30 years old who's has, blue hair or whatever it is that they say. So, but you don't do ages.
Well, that doesn't mean that we don't end up understanding your age.
Okay.
At the end of the interview.
Oh, okay.
It's just legally we don't ask for it. On Minnesota labor laws, you don't want to discriminate against anyone because of age. And the reality is we need all ages.
Yeah.
But by the time you've gotten to know us, we'll pretty much know your age.
Okay, now you've talked about some different things, but are there any other do's and don'ts when working with the with more modeling agencies?
We have a very much a family atmosphere here. I think I'm not absolutely sure how other agencies work, but I think more creative goes a step beyond in knowing their talent, and so maybe that's different. We get a little frustrated with talent that are overly multi-listed. Of course, freelancers are abundant in this market, but that can be a little frustrating to us. We'd rather have a talent want some loyalty, just with more creative, possibly thinking about exclusivity, or we want them maybe to just choose one other agency that has a little different clientele, and maybe just be with two. But there's a lot of talent in town who are with 5 or 6 or even 7 people representing them, and that just gets expensive for the talent, and I don't really think it helps them that much, and it's certainly frustrating.
How so expensive?
Well, because different agencies have different policies about their websites. So then, some of them I understand are quite expensive and be even $100 a month you're paying to be on a website.
Wow.
Or that initial payment is, you need to pay us $150 right now, this minute, before we've even, gotten you a job. There's some agencies that do that. And we have a no risk policy here. We accept people, put them up on our website, try to get them work. Only if they book a job is there a small deduction for website.
Okay. Any last words of advice?
Last words of advice. Oh, I should have something really profound. I'm sure I do. If you have flexibility in your life, and people have told you over and over again as you go through life, are you an actor? Are you a model? What? You should be doing this. If you are hearing that and you have flexibility, try it.
Okay. That's great. That's great advice. So thank you again for doing this. How can people reach more talent, creative talent? Do you have a website, social media platforms? If so, what are they?
It's our website, www.moretalent.com. It's our Facebook page, which you just type in Facebook, More Creative Talent. Boom, we're there. Okay. Same with Instagram. Mm-hmm. So we're really easy to find.
Okay.
And our physical space is easy to find. Why? Because of our bright yellow door.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Thank you so much, Carol. Yeah. I really, really do appreciate this, and it was a pleasure speaking with you today.
Oh, good. Well, if I was useful at all, then my day is happy.
Okay. Thank you.